The first thing you'll need when you start working out is a good split that you can follow. But which is the best workout split? Today we will analyze a lot of popular workout splits and find out which is the best. The first is going to be the bro split, and I would say this is probably the worst. You can definitely have progress on it, but everybody knows that twice a week frequency is better than once a week frequency, and there's also a lot of junk volume when it comes to a bro split. The problem is, if I need 20 sets for chest to grow, if I do 20 on Monday and then 20 again on the next Monday, that's going to be pretty shitty, because of those 20 sets, the first 10 is going to be fine, maybe even 12, but the last 8 to 10 sets are going to be complete trash junk volume, okay? It's not needed, and it doesn't really promote a lot of growth and stimulus. And even though you might get sore for a week, you will only be growing for like 2 to 3 days. So I just can't recommend the bro split to anybody. Next is upper lower. My problem with the split personally is that I think lower body days are pretty short and upper body days are going to be very, very long and tiring. And you know, it's not really a perfect balance of upper and lower. You have like 3 muscle groups in your lower body: quads, hamstrings and calves. Hamstrings don't need a lot of volume and they're very slow to recover. Quads need a bit more and maybe they can recover a bit quicker, but to recover from a squat workout is also a difficulty. And calves, well, they aren't that difficult, I guess. But your upper body, on the other hand, depending on what you want to train, has at least 6 muscle groups, but usually even more, because most people will train abs and front delts as well. And most of those muscle groups are smaller ones that can recover quicker and need more volume to grow. A fix to that can be doing 5 sessions, 3 uppers and 2 lowers, but at that point you can do a better split. It's also very hard to specialize on an upper lower split, okay? It's going to be difficult to focus on one muscle group or 2 that you want to bring up. Our next split is push-pull legs. For most of my training career I've been doing push-pull legs as well, and honestly it's a shitty split. It makes you torso dominant because it focuses mostly on chest, back and legs, and the arms and shoulders are going to take a back seat. Also, if you're doing push-pull legs, you're going to be doing either 6 workouts per week or an asynchronous split, which basically means your weeks change all the time. For an example, that can be a 3 days on, 1 day off, but that sucks too, okay? It's also hard to specialize in a push-pull leg split. Beginners don't need to specialize because they don't have a weak point yet, their entire body is a weak point. But beginners don't need to train 6 days a week, they don't need a lot of volume, and push-pull legs is either a lot of volume, or if you're doing low volume training and push-pull legs, what the fuck are you doing? So it's not going to be good for beginners, but it cannot be specialized for anybody else. Next is full body 3 times a week. The only rule to that is you have to have at least 1 day of rest between each of those sessions. I would say this is probably the best split for beginners because they don't want to spend a lot of time in the gym, they don't need a lot of volume, and they don't need to specialize either. It's also very easy to follow since it doesn't take a lot of adherence to go to the gym 3 days a week. Next is push-pull, where push is chest, triceps, front delts. Side delts is technically not a push, but it doesn't really belong to the pull either, so it doesn't matter. Quads and calves. And pull is going to be back, biceps, rear delts, hamstrings and abs. I personally never tried this split, but it seems reasonable and the length of the training sessions seem to be pretty well managed, and also I'm planning on trying this on my next minicar. It's easy to specialize because you can bring anything forward, it doesn't really matter. If one of the push sessions you want to do triceps first because it's a weak point, the other session you can do chest first, and then it doesn't limit your chest gains as much. Also, you can add a 5th day to it where you target weak points. I think the split can be good for both beginners and intermediate. So beginners don't need to specialize yet, so for them full body or push-pull is going to be the best option, I guess. But for people who need to specialize, so intermediate and advanced people, I recommend a whatever split. I wouldn't call this a random split because I have intentions, okay? It's not random, it's pre-planned. It's also not full body because I don't train every muscle group I have in every single session. So what I mean by this is you need to set up your own split according to your weaknesses. You want to do the most justice for weak points with the least amount of negative impact on all of your other muscle groups. You shouldn't be overly rigid with planning your training according to splits, okay? Training arms and legs might sound very unorthodox to you, but it's a great practice actually. Or anything really. You don't have to have a chest, back and legs day. You can do chest, back and legs on the same day. It's not a good idea because all of these muscle groups are very large, but you could do it technically. For example, my weak point is arms and my strong point is legs. I don't give a shit about my legs currently. They're way better than my upper body and especially than my arms. So with that said, I leave leg training to the end of my workouts. And for an example, I have a session where I do arms first and then I do squats. This is because arms don't take a lot of energy from my squats, but squats take a lot of energy from anything else, and also I'm trying to focus on arms and I'm not really trying to focus on my legs. Now, I don't recommend this to beginners because they don't need to specialize and also they don't know programming yet, so they can't design their own split. And another problem is they don't have enough experience to know where to put things, okay? They don't know how long it takes to recover from certain exercises, because if I do 3 sets of RDLs and 3 sets of hamstring curls, the 3 sets of RDLs are going to be much harder to recover from. But they don't know that yet, and they also don't know how long it takes for them for certain muscle groups to recover, because this will differ for everybody. So they don't have weak points, so they don't need specialized training, and also they don't even know how to set up a correct training program. So for them, doing a normal split like full body will be a better option. This type of split is great for specialization and also higher frequencies, because with most splits, push-pull legs, upper lower, all that, you're going to have 2 times frequency per week for every muscle group. And if you try to include a third workout for a muscle group, the whole split just goes in the drain, or at least with push-pull legs and upper lower and all that. There's also endless opportunities. You can modify your split as you want. 2 important things though is, first, your training sessions should be roughly the same length every day of the week. And also for every single muscle group, rest periods between 2 training sessions should be roughly the same. So that means if I'm going to train chest twice a week, I'm not going to program chest on Monday and Wednesday. That's just stupid. If I'm going to train triceps 3 times a week, I'm not going to program triceps on Monday, Tuesday and then Friday. If I want to train something 4 times, I'm not going to program it on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. I'm going to program it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. And then it's only Sunday and Monday that come after each other. So plan your workouts according to this, and also you need to use progressive overload, so click here if you want to know how to use it.